I wanted to address something that is very important to understand if you're going on any sort of inward quest. When you are actively choosing love instead of fear, there is something that you need to know, and that is sometimes your ego, your voice of fear, will rev up its game when you rev up your light game. So this was happening to me it happens. It happens all the time. And at the start of my sort of spiritual path, as I call it, this was happening, and I really felt like I was doing something wrong. I was like, why am I experiencing sadness or fear or anger? Why is all this stuff coming up when the books I'm reading are talking about love and choosing love and everything's amazing and oneness? I was like, what am I doing wrong? But it wasn't until I read a book called Kundalini by Cindy Dale, which kind of explained what happens when that energy moves through you, that stagnant energy that has been stagnant for a very long time, and when you're actively choosing to move that energy through you, what can happen. So the easiest way always to explain things like this is through example. So I will give you an example that just happened last week. I went to a meditation night with a very gifted healer, and the meditation was centered on our third chakra. And so for those of you who don't know about chakras, your third chakra is just like about right here, and it's the center of our personal power. It's an energy center in our body, and it's the center of our personal power. So we were working on healing this energy center through this meditation, and I sort of expected to have a very positive, incredible night and an incredible next few days because I had just experienced this beautiful healing. And later that night, what happens, I'm almost asleep, and my partner comes into the room when we're having a nice discussion, and all of a sudden it turns into a fight. And this is really weird for me because my partner and I don't fight. We definitely have maybe sometimes where we disagree on something, but we really worked on our internal processes enough that we can communicate that in a loving way, and so usually it never turns into a fight, as I call it. But that night, we definitely got into a fight, and it took a couple days. I had some like angry sort of periods in the next couple days, and I started to definitely understand after it was happening over and over again, whoa, I see what's going on, and it's sort of the telltale sign of you're working on your own stuff, and your ego is popping up to say, don't do that, I don't want to go, please. So it's just kind of this weird, funky place. So basically what happens is when you rev up your light, when you rev up your conscious choosing of loving thoughts, positive energy, and healing, your fearful voice revs up its own game. It doesn't want to go anywhere. So this isn't really a bad thing at all, because what's actually happening is it's healing. That stagnant energy, like I was talking about at the beginning of the video, that stagnant energy that is causing this sort of anger and upset, by your bringing your own light into that space, is breaking up and is coming out of you. So as it's coming out, you're experiencing maybe more fearful thoughts or more times of anger. And it's perfectly natural, and that just needs to well up and come out, and then it's done with, right? But to help this process along, it's very important that we understand the difference between identifying with fear or observing it. And these are two completely different things. So identifying fear, or identifying, with your fear is what I was doing that night that my partner and I got into a fight. I felt sort of this upwelling of fear that was sort of aggravated from that big healing experience I just had. And instead of being able to observe it and being in the moment, I identified with it, I became the fear, and therefore my actions and my words were very angry and fearful. And, when I shifted out of that and I could instead being in a place of observation, everything shifts, because you observe that you have these fearful voices, you observe the anger, but you bring your light capacity into the situation, and you bring your light capacity into that fear. So this might not make 100% sense right away, and for some of you it may. The really big thing that's going to help you is practice. So when a fearful voice or a fearful feeling or an angry feeling or an irritated feeling comes up for you, practice observing it. understand that identifying with it is saying, I am angry, and understanding that observing it is saying, I am love, and I see there's an aspect of me that is angry. And I'm just going to work on projecting love and being loving and understanding and even humorous in the face of this fear. So pretty much the point of this video is to say, hey, you know what? If you're doing the work, if you're going inward, if you're experiencing some sort of shisty situations that you're like, where is this coming from? Don't worry. It is so natural. The best thing you can do is just observe, be loving in the face of fear, and forgive yourself at those times where you do identify with it and sort of go in an off direction. It's okay. It's natural. So let me know if you have any questions. I have, like I said, I have experience with this. This is something that I dealt with for definitely a while. So leave a comment or a question below, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye. Hi.